Hello everyone, what's up? See, it's me again, Master 3, and if you're wondering why I have my sunglasses on, it's because it's really hot and it's really bright outside today, so yeah, I know that I probably look like a damn douchebag, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. And also, I'm sorry that I haven't posted any videos in maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. I've been sick and it's been really hell for me these last 3 weeks, so that's the reason why I haven't uploaded any videos. So just to make things up to you, I decided to make this whole big update video. So this is going to be a VHS, DVD and Blu-ray update. I only picked up one VHS tape, so I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to continue with the DVDs, and then finally I'm going to end it with the Blu-rays. And in terms of the DVDs, I am trying to keep the horror films away from the other genre films, just so if you're just interested in the horror stuff, you can watch that if you want to. So yeah, you know how it goes, so let's start off right away. So first up is the VHS tape. This is a low budget 90s gore film, shot on video I believe. Film called Invasion for Flesh and Blood. This looks really hilarious and really stupid. I think this is probably another one which has never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. I thought this might be really interesting to watch, because sometimes when you watch these old school gore films, you really do want to have a little more bad picture quality, because sometimes that actually adds somewhat to the atmosphere. So, but maybe that's just me, that is really weird. So yeah. Then we're gonna continue with all of these. I mean, the next 24 titles are actually Clint Eastwood films. So I basically bought this entire collection of Clint Eastwood films. Some of these I had before. Most of them I did not have before. So I thought it was a really good deal. So I had to pick them up. So because the majority of them I did not have before. I think I only had maybe 5 or 10% of this collection before. So yeah. First up, we have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Already had that before. An amazing film, really great, and for a few dollars more. Also great film. Then we have the film Every Which Way But Loose, about Clint Eastwood and a monkey, I believe. And a monkey, that sounds weird, but yeah, that's basically what it is. Dirty Harry in the Dead Pool. Sorry for if these are in any really weird order, but this is the way they are numbered on the back of the spines, because you can see there's a number up there. So that's the reason why they're maybe a little bit all over the place at the time right now. So yeah. Then we have The Gauntlet. And we have Sudden Impact. Space Cowboys. Then we have Bronco Billy, City Heat, The Enforcer, Honky Tonk Man, Magnum Force, Dirty Harry. I've actually never seen any of the Dirty Harry films, so that's gonna be a blast to finally check those out. Let's see. White Hunter, Black Heart. Then we have, let's see, what's it called? The Rookie. Then Tightrope. Any Which Way You Can. I think this also has some connection with the other monkey film. Then we have Bloodwork. This is one of the ones that I've seen as well. The Outlaw, Josie Wales. Amazing film. Great Western. One of my new favorite ones, I must say. The Unforgiven. Never seen this before, but also heard that's one of the best Clint Eastwood films. Where Eagles Dare. Absolute Power. And we have Pale Rider, which I had before, also a pretty good film. Not his best, but still entertaining. And then we ended with Kelly's Heroes. This is a classic, really entertaining war film, especially Donald Sutherland's performance in that. So yeah, I'm just gonna pause the video so I can continue without being so glitchy, because there's pretty damn many films to go through. So yeah, bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, I'm back with a video. Next one we have is Bachelor, The Bachelor Party. Never seen before, but heard it's one of like classics '80s comedy films. Then we have Galaxy Quest, like some sort of spoof on Star Trek, I believe. Then we have Vanishing Point, never seen, but some sort of car chase type film. Then we have William Friedkin's Jade. Basically picked it up because of William Friedkin. Then we have Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis, directed by Walter Hill. Then I picked up this one, Walking Tall, the original one. I would love to get a hold of part 2 and 3, but they seem to be next to impossible to get a hold of. So yeah, we'll see if I eventually find those two as well. So yeah, never seen this one before, but heard some really good things about it. So some sort of vigilante type film, I believe. So yeah. Then we have 8 Million Ways to Die with Jeff Bridges, 80s film. Then this one I had before on VHS, but figured, well, I didn't even know this had a DVD release, so I decided to pick it up on DVD as well. Blue City with Judd Nelson and Ali Sheedy. Then the next, let's see, like 4 or 5 films are part of the retro film collection, the one with the star right there. Tried to collect all of those. So first up we have The Next Man with Sean Connery. Then a film by David Cronenberg called Fast Company. And then this one I've been looking for ages. I was so glad when they released this because I don't think this has ever been released in Sweden. So yeah, The Man from Hong Kong, directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, who did the amazing film Turkey Shoot. If you haven't seen Turkey Shoot, it is really entertaining fun. Then we have the film called Caravan to Vakaris. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, might recognize that cover. And the last one in the retro film collection that I picked up is, I did already have this one, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, the first one, but I don't think this has ever gotten a Swedish release, and it was also part of the retro film collection, so I thought, well, why the heck not? So yeah, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Now, let's see. The next one is another Scorsese film. This is one of his very first films he directed, I believe. The film called Boxcar Bertha. Yeah, never seen before, but seems to be really entertaining. Then we have Johnny Dangerously, 80s comedy film with Michael Keaton. And then we have The Getaway by Sam Peckinpah. I've really gotten more and more into his films. I really like the style of his films. I quite recently watched The Deadly Companions, and I thought it was probably one of his weaker films, but then again it was also one of his first films, so can't really blame him too much for that. I still thought it was an alright film, so yeah. Then we have Jasper, Texas, I believe it's called. Made-for-TV film from the early 2000s, based on true events apparently. Then this one looks so entertaining, so I just had to pick it up. But yeah, The Final Executioner. That cover art is truly amazing, but I think this might be one of those like VHS rip films, because I think this is probably one of the only releases this movie has ever gotten, so yeah. Then we have The Dirty Dozen. It is a war film, but the real reason why I wanted to pick this one up was because of the cast. Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, Charles Bronson, Jim Brown, George Kennedy. Yeah, this is Telly Savalas, I believe. Yeah, Telly Savalas as well. What an amazing cast! I can't wait to finally check this one out. So yeah. Also, I believe this also comes with the sequel, which came out like 10 years later or something, or 25 years later, something like that, but not too sure about the sequel, but the first one is probably going to be a blast. Then we have Stir Crazy with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. Never seen this one, but heard some really good things about it. Then we have a Stallone film called Avenging Angelo. I've heard pretty bad things about this one. I was not aware of this before I bought it, but apparently this is some sort of remake that is like loosely based off some other older like French film, I believe, from the 70s. So that means I'm probably gonna track that film down as well. So yeah. Then this one I actually got by mistake because the seller that sold this to me was supposed to send me another film, but I got this one instead. So I think he just pretty much uh, gave this to me as a bonus because there was a little trouble with the shipping or something. So Black Dynamite, some sort of spoof on the blaxploitation genre, I believe. This was released in 2009, I believe. So yeah, don't really know. Sorry for the glare, by the way, but yeah, try to do my best with that. Then we have another Peckinpah film, The Killer Elite. Yeah, from the 70s, I believe. Interesting cast as well, James Caan and Robert Duvall. And then we have In Like Flynn. This is based off, I believe this is based on the real person Errol Flynn before he became a movie star. Not too sure how accurate or anything like that this is or not, or if it's just completely fictional. I'm not too sure, but yeah, this is directed by the same guy who directed the Highlander film. So yeah. This one I've been on the hunt for ages. This never seemed to. I mean, I could almost never find this anywhere, but this seems to be a really entertaining, like feel-good type film in general. Phil Collins in Buster. From 1988, I believe. So yeah, British comedy film. Now let's see. I think we have to speed up a little bit, but I'll try to do my best when it comes to that. Let's see. Then we have All the Devil's Men. Thought it looked interesting. It's pretty much a blind buy. Then we have a film with Richard Harris called Golden Rendezvous, released by Studio S, of course. Always deliver with their films. And this one is actually I think this is considered a classic, but I've never seen it, and I saw it was about to go out of print, so I thought, well, I better get this before it goes out of print. So The Hunt for Red October with Sean Connery. Then this one I wanted to watch as well because of one of the actors in this one, because I'm a big fan of his. Willem Dafoe, and the movie is The Florida Project. So yeah. And then we have I think this is like a film that takes place after the Vietnam War, about veterans coming home traumatized by what they've seen. The film is called Coming Home, with Jon Voight. And also I think it's quite interesting, I didn't know this before I bought this, but apparently Robert Ginty has a small role in this one, so that's going to be interesting to watch. So yeah. Then I picked up this one. I've heard a little bit mixed things about this one. Some people have said it's really, really bad, and some people have said it's pretty damn good for this franchise or whatever. Rambo: Lost Blood. Basically picked up just so I could complete the franchise in the collection. But I've heard this has some really brutal things in it, so can't wait to finally check that one out. So yeah. Speaking of Stallone, I picked up a film called Oscar, which came out in the early 90s. This is some sort of crime comedy type film directed by John Landis. Never seen, but yeah, had to pick it up because it was Stallone in it, so yeah. Then we have Bill Murray in Stripes, early 80s comedy film. Then we have some sleazy stuff, probably. 70s crime film by Umberto Lenzi, the film called The Syndic Sadists. Yeah, some biker film it looks like, I'm not too sure, but yeah, looks really amazing. Then we have this is The Incredible Journey, which is a Disney film. Yeah, you can bash on me later, but I have only seen the remake of this, which came out in like 93 or 94. When I was a kid, I really enjoyed that film, but now when I'm older, I'm not too sure. And once I found out that that's actually a remake, I thought, well, I should really get a hold of the original and see if it's better than the remake. So yeah, and I really love dogs and cats in general, so yeah, can't go wrong with that probably. Then we have another film with Jon Voight, and this also has Dustin Hoffman in it, and this is also, I believe, considered a classic nowadays. Midnight Cowboy. Yeah. And then we have Down and Out in Beverly Hills, another 80s comedy. This one I picked up because this is directed by Richard Pepin, who has directed so many low-budget 90s action films. Some of them have been really, really bad, and some of them have been so bad they're good. So Y2K, this is from the late 90s, so I'm not too sure if it's going to be good or not, but yeah, we'll see. And then finally I picked up this one. This is really a classic film, and damn, this is such an amazing film. This is, yeah, I mean, as fast as I saw it, because I saw this around Christmas, I believe. Maybe not Christmas, but I think it was in the beginning of this year. And yeah, this is, I rarely show like any real emotion when I watch my films in general, but this one just had me. I mean, this, I couldn't hold back the tears in the end. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a Wonderful Life. What an amazing cast. What an amazing story. James Stewart is truly amazing in this one. This is probably one that I could re-watch numerous of times now. So that's probably going to be the case as well. So yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. Just talking about it feels emotional. Then we have another 80s comedy, The Dream Team. Basically picked it up because of Michael Keaton and Christopher Lloyd. So yeah. Then we have, this is like a triple pack, I believe, of films with Charles Bronson and Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. The films included in this box set is It Can Be Done, Amigo, Boot Hill, and Chino. Boot Hill I actually did have before in another box set, but the only reason why I wanted to get this particular box set was because this was like the only way I could get a hold of the other two films. So yeah, that's the reason why. Talking about Terence Hill and Bud Spencer, the next two films I believe is Terence Hill films. Man of the East, sorry. Yeah. Western film. Then we have Mr. Billion. Yeah, a 70s comedy, and then we have both of them together in a film called Watch Out, We're Mad. Yeah. This one is also considered a classic, and it was about to go out of print, so yeah, that's another reason why I wanted to get a hold of it. The Usual Suspects. I have never seen this one before, so yeah, don't spoil it for me. This one, I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason why I picked this one up was because it was fairly cheap and it was released by Studio S, but I've only heard pretty damn bad things about this one. But yeah, Shanghai Surprise. If you have seen this film yourself, let me know what you think of it. I've only heard bad things about it, so I'm not too sure. So I have my expectations pretty damn low on that one. Then we have another classic, Casablanca. Only seen it one or two times, but this, I mean, the first time I watched it I thought it was really great, but the second time I watched it I really liked it even more. I noticed more things that I really enjoyed about it, so yeah, really truly amazing classic film that everyone should watch if you're a movie fan. So yeah, Casablanca. Oh god, I have been talking for almost 20 minutes, so this is probably going to be another really long update video. Now the next one in this stack is gonna have some people laughing. Killer Ninjas, which has some other title as well, but if you know it, if it has ninjas in the title, you probably know, if you probably guessed it, it is directed by Godfrey Ho, even though it says it's directed by York Lamb on the front cover. So yeah, that's probably going to be interesting to watch, because sometimes those Godfrey Ho films, they're so entertaining because of how weird they are, like copy and pasted together. It's just insane. Then we have a film called Far From Home. This is some sort of crime serial killer type film, even though this cover art is really bad. It just feels like they put Drew Barrymore on it just to sell copies, let's be honest. But I've heard this is a really great mix between like crime and serial killer film in general. Don't think this is too easy to come across these days either, so I'm so glad I found this film. So yeah, Far From Home. Then we have a film which was so despised by John Hughes, so he actually wanted his name to get deleted from this entire production because he was not pleased with the end result. At least that's what I've read in like trivias and stuff like that. So, Career Opportunities with Jennifer Connelly and what's his name, the guy on the is it Frank Whaley, I believe. Yeah, also has Dermot Mulroney in it. That's really interesting. But yeah, Jennifer Connelly. Oh, what a beautiful woman. Then we have this one. I'm really glad I found this one because I watched this on YouTube the first time because I thought, well, this is probably never going to be released on DVD or Blu-ray anyways. So I just thought I should watch it on YouTube. I really liked it, and the movie is called Siege. This is also known as something else. Can't remember the title right now, but this is from the early 80s, 83. This film would never be made today. If you've seen the film yourself, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Anyway, great film, really entertaining film. It's basically about this guy in this gay bar that gets assaulted by this gang, and he escapes from the bar and just take refugee in like an apartment building, and there's some people there standing up with him trying to fight back this gang basically. So that's really the entire film about these people just trying to stay alive basically throughout the night. So yeah, really entertaining film, tense as well. And then we have a probably some schlocky early 90s fighting film. I really like these type of films because sometimes they're really hilarious and really bad, but they're so fun. College Kickboxers. Yeah, with a title like that, I just had to pick it up. Then we have the I know there's like 3 or 4 more films in this series, but I've heard that the later on in the series, I mean after part 3 or 4, it just gets worse. I've only seen the first one. I'm a big fan of the first one. I think that I watched this during Christmas. Was it the last Christmas or the Christmas before that one? I'm not too sure, but Beethoven. The first one, second one, and third one. I don't really think I have any interest in picking up part 4, 5, or 6, or how many they are. But if I really like part 2 and 3, I might consider picking up the rest. But as of now, I'm probably not going to do that. Then we have See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Once again with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. They are some really great. Have some really great chemistry between one another. So yeah. Then we have Breaker with Chuck Norris. Heard it's one of his weaker films, but then again, Chuck Norris isn't really known for his acting. He's more known for his fighting. Let's be honest. This one I'm so glad I found. I mean, I did pay quite much money for this one, but I knew this is probably a film that I'm never gonna see anyways in the near future for sale anywhere, because this is a limited special edition. The film is called Hundra with Lorene Landon, I believe her name is. Sorry, this is some like sword and sandal type film, I believe. This also comes with a soundtrack, which is really amazing. Not too sure how many copies they made of it. Let's see, 5,000 copies, I believe. So really glad to have this one in the collection. Even though I heard some really bad things about it, though. Now the next one, I'm not too sure if this is the original title because it only has the Swedish title on the front and the Italian title on the back. But it basically translates to Our Man in Beirut with Richard Harrison. I think this is really interesting because the only films I've seen with Richard Harrison has been those Godfrey Ho films that he appeared in throughout the entire 80s, basically. So it's going to be interesting to see him in something else. So yeah. And then I think this is some sort of sequel to that. These films are basically like James Bond, like knockoffs, I believe, like rip-offs or something. Like the Italians, they're really experts in making some of those really entertaining, schlocky rip-off films in general. So Our Man in Casablanca. This is like the sequel to the previous film that I just showed you. And then we have a sequel to a film which I remember that I didn't care too much for, but we just still wanted to get a hold of this one, and I'm probably gonna get a hold of the third one if I like the second one. Porky's 2 was ages since I saw the first one. Maybe I like it more now than I did the first time I watched it, but I'm not too sure. Another sex comedy from the 80s, Screwballs, never seen. That one also got like 2 or 3 sequels, which I've heard really, really bad things about. So I don't think I'm gonna pick up any of the Screwballs sequels, but I might pick up the third Porky's film. Then we have another Clint Eastwood film, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Heard this is gonna be really entertaining because this is directed by the same guy who did direct Deer Hunter. So yeah. Oh my god, I've been talking for 25 minutes. Need to speed up a little bit more. Then we have The Vikings with Janet Leigh, Kirk Douglas, Tony Curtis, and Ernest Borgnine. Considered a classic. Then we have another Clint Eastwood. I mean, I don't know how many damn Eastwood films I picked up lately. It's been really many of those. Joe Kidd from the early 70s, I believe. 70. Oh, wow. Yeah, 72. Sorry, I completely lost track there. Then we have another Scorsese film called After Hours. Now this has been out of print for quite some time, and it usually goes for stupid money. I did overpay a little bit too much on this one, but then again, I thought this is probably a film that I'm probably never gonna get a hold of anyways if I just pass on that. So yeah. Then we have a film called China Blue, some sort of really sleazy film from the early 80s with Anthony Perkins and Kathleen Turner. So yeah. Then we have a box set with the Christopher Reeve Superman collection, which has all the 4 films that he appeared in, Superman 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Also, I think this includes the, I think it's like Richard Donner's own version of Superman 2, like his cut of the film, and then some other extended cut, I believe, on the first Superman film. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch these because I've never seen any of these before. I've only heard really bad things about part 4, but that's pretty much about it. So yeah. Now let's see. I have not too many horror films this time around, which is a little bit surprising. Maybe you think so, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. This is another one of those that really tries to spin off the whole zombie craze or the zombie comedy craze. Juan of the Dead. I think you pretty much pronounce his name like that, or the name Juan like that. Once again, when it comes to these, move over, Shaun of the Dead. Move over, Zombieland. There's a new king in town. I think someone else also mentioned this. I think it was Smooths on YouTube also. He mentioned that it's still annoying when they just stick that to the films, that Shaun of the Dead has to be referred to every single time when a new zombie comedy comes out. So yeah, pretty stupid. Then we have a late 90s horror film called Devil in the Flesh. I thought the premise sounded really interesting, so that's the reason why I picked it up. Then we have a Frank Henenlotter film. I think this is one of the very last films he directed before. I don't think he's directed any more films after this one. I'm not too sure, but the film is called Bad Biology. Big fan of the Basket Case films, even though my favorite Henenlotter film is Brain Damage. Then we have Beware the Blob, which is the sequel to the 50s version. This is also directed by the guy, what's his name? Larry Hagman, who also appeared in, probably most famous for playing, I think, JR in Dallas. This is the only film he ever directed, which is really strange. So yeah, Beware the Blob. Then we have another one of those Frankenstein films from the 70s or 60s, 69. This is with Peter Cushing, of course. The film is called, let's see, Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Yeah. Then we have the early 2000s film, or late 90s, I believe, called Hidden Agenda. Yeah. Thought it would look interesting. Kevin Dillon and Christopher Plummer. That's the reason why I wanted to get a hold of this as well. Then we have the classic one. This is probably, now I think this is actually my oldest film that I have in my collection, because before this I had Nosferatu, which was probably the oldest one I had. This is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Yeah, horror classic. I've not seen it, but looking forward to see it. Then we have an Indonesian horror film called Affair. Haven't heard anyone talk about this one, so who knows, maybe I'll make a review of this after I've watched it. So yeah. Then we have Roman Polanski's classic film called damn, what it's called. Of course, it's only the Swedish title on the front cover. Now let's see, The Fearless Vampire Killers, I believe it's called. Yeah, probably recognize that cover art. Then we have a 70s Italian film called Tormentor. For some reason, Full Moon released this. I had no idea that Full Moon had the rights to this film whatsoever. I only thought they had all those doll films under their belt, let's be honest, when it comes to Full Moon. But you never know. Then we have the this is a box set with 4 films, Dead and Rotting collection, which has the films Dead and Rotting from 2002, and then the film called The Bone Setter, which I found out is directed by Brett Kelly. I do not look forward to that one, because the majority of Brett Kelly films I've seen have been one of the worst things I've ever seen. And then a film called Ozone from 1994, and then also we have Bloodletting from 1997. Bloodletting was one of the main reasons why I wanted to get a hold of this box set, so I'm just probably gonna burn the disc for The Bone Setter if I really hate the Brett Kelly film, but I'm not too sure. Then we have another film called Ozone, which was released in the 80s, which has nothing to do with the other Ozone that I showed before. Now this is the film called Ozone Attack of the Redneck Mutants. With a title like that, you can't pass on a film like that. I mean, it's the title itself, so yeah. Shot on video film from the 80s, I believe, so had to pick it up. Now this one I'm probably gonna have to do like this, because there's some tits on the front cover, like nudity. Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals, I believe it's called. Directed by Joe D'Amato, or whatever his name is. This was one of the very last cannibal films from this era, or this like label, that I did not have in my collection before, so had to pick it up. Then we have the film called We're Going to Eat You, an early 80s Hong Kong horror film. And then we have Asylum of Terror. This premise sounded really twisted and demented. If you look up this film on IMDb, the storyline sounds really twisted. So yeah. This cover art is really amazing as well to me. Back from the Dead. This is another, I believe, shot on video 90s horror film. The cover art for this is really funny. It looks like it's like drinking blood from the brain with like some sort of... Yeah, I'm not really sure what the hell he's doing, but yeah, it looks interesting. Then we have the film called Graveyard Disturbance. I've watched this once and I did not care too much for it, but I remember I thought it had some decent atmosphere to it, so at least I thought something really good in it, so for it to pick it up. So then we have The House of Lost Souls. I think I might have showed you that in another Apple video I had before. Then we have the film called Ator, also one that I think I might have showed you before. Now finally we're off to the Blu-rays, and there aren't really that many Blu-rays in this update video, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. First up we have the Dismembered. This is probably one of those films that were like lost, and like the negatives were lost and they couldn't find it, and then they finally found it somewhere hidden in a vault or something, so we're gonna see if it was worth for them to pick up or not. Then we have some Arrow releases. First up we have Sister Street Fighter Collection, which has, I believe it's 4 films? Yeah, 4 films, so I think it's the entire series of films in this box set, so yeah. Then we have The Navigator, a medieval odyssey, an Australian action adventure film, I believe, so yeah. This one I actually did have before, but I think it was like an old, somewhat crappy DVD release of it. I'm not too sure, but it's directed by Jack Hill. The film is called Switchblade Sisters. I really enjoyed this film. I remember I really liked the fact that it was like an all ladies gang, that, and it was like internal conflicts in the gang as well. I really liked this film, really entertaining. Then we have another 70s film called The Astrologer. Read up a little bit about it. It was some sort of cult type film, so I had to pick it up. Then we have a film called Deadlier Than the Male, which I've heard is supposed to be quite violent for a 60s action film. So yeah, one of the reasons why I picked it up. This one I had on VHS before, so I thought I should get the Blu-ray as well. Bloodstalkers, released by Garage House Pictures, the same company that released the Dismembered. I remember not liking this too much, but then again, I'm gonna give it another chance. Maybe I like it more. Then we have Sho Kosugi in Rage of Honor. So now when I picked this one up, I think I have most of the Sho Kosugi films. Not that he appeared in too many of those films, but yeah, entertaining nonetheless, probably. This one I also had before, but I decided to pick it up because it was part of the Slasher Classics collection. New Year's Evil. I think this is very underrated, and this has some special type of atmosphere to it. I can't really put my fingers on what, but I usually watch this during New Year, basically, and it just brings some special atmosphere to the whole situation or whatever. I'm not sure how you can describe it really. Then we have the last film for this update. It's going to be a film by Mark Lester, who directed Truck Stop Women, Class of 1984 and Class of 1999, among others. Steel Arena, never seen before, but also comes with a pretty cool slipcover. Now that's the entire update video. I've been talking for almost 40 minutes, so I pretty much need to end the video before you get really bored. I'm not really sure why you still watch this if you were bored to begin with, but yeah, I'm still glad that you probably, I hopefully like this video, because I've been away from YouTube for like 3 weeks, so I thought this might be a good way to come back to YouTube again. Also, I'm gonna try to make the top 5 of the month for the month of August, and then I also have some top 10 lists on my IMDb page, which I have not published like publicly yet, so that's probably going to be some more top 10 videos in the near future, hopefully. So yeah, take care and keep your eyes open for the next video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.